I said, plug me in. I got stuff to talk about, damn it. I'll crawl out of my earbuds once a week to give you a show. That's what I do, folks. I do this show for the common man, for the people in despair. I bring this show into the world and I sell it everywhere. The simple truth lies waiting here, folks, for all of you to share. Hold on, I will take you there.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. It is Tuesday night and I'm recording this into a phone. Seems ridiculous, doesn't it? It seems like I should be in front of a microphone. I should be in somebody's apartment, perhaps the oldest building in Hollywood. Perhaps I should be recording it in my building. But unfortunately, I'm recording it from a phone to tell you that this week, real life has conspired against us. I'll just be honest with you, the last 4 days, I have worked 52 hours, which seems ridiculous, probably. And I know a lot of you are like, worked, you were in a car, you drove, and yeah, I get it. But unfortunately, Lily and I could not come together on a time to get together. She was still Mr. Momming, Mrs. Momming, and I was busy, and now it's Tuesday, and I'm on a plane in the morning. So, what we are going to do, I couldn't figure out what to do. I was going to put up an old show, or a couple of old shows, and trying to figure out exactly what to do. I talked to David about it, I talked to Lily about it. You know, the two of them, very integral to the process of deciding what we would wind up doing. And what I've decided to do, independent of David and Lily, that's right. I stepped outside of the triumvirate, the three-headed monster, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? Because I you know me, I get in my head, and I don't want to be putting up, older content. It seems like we've had to do that when I'm caught on the plane and things like that, and so I didn't want to do that this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know how at the end of the show, I always say, hey, the Schmitty Comes Alive download is for sale on my website? Not anymore. I'm going to put up the Schmitty Comes Alive show for free right now. It'll still be available on the website. If you feel like you want to pay $5 for it after I put it up here for free, because I don't think I can take it down from the website, I can't do that, folks. Once something's up for sale, it's up for sale for good. But I'm going to play it now for a couple of reasons. One, it is new content. It is a story that I've only told once, and I told it at that live show. It's never been told on here. It's never been told anywhere else. I was actually going to tour with it. I thought about touring with it, and then and it's still a possibility. I don't know, but right now I will just tell you, as I about to play it for free, I'm going to tour with it because I'm sure you'll want to pay to see this. Anyway, the show is going up. It's a fully formed story. There's stuff in the beginning, but then there's a story that you'll hear. I don't want to give it too much of it away, but it is content that is new. So I don't feel like I'm putting up just an older show or a rerun or anything like that. And again, I don't have a problem doing that. I mean, I'm proud of the catalog or the library of work that I've created, and now I'm just fucking convincing myself that I'm going to shut the fuck up. All right, so Schmitty Comes Alive is going up right now. You will hear it for a couple of reasons. Like I said, one, it is new content, new to you if you didn't pay for it. Thank you if you've purchased this download in the past. It's been available for 2 years. And like I said, if you still want to purchase it, why not? Why wouldn't you? It'll be available at the website. But another reason I'm doing it is to plug my appearance at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival at the end of this month. I think that's September 27th, 28th, or no, 26th, 27th, and 28th. I am there the 27th. I'm performing at noon on Saturday. And if you go to tiny.cc/40YOBPOD, that's tiny.cc/40YOBPOD, 40YOBpod, and buy tickets to the festival, then you can come to the show. And I get credit for it, and you will come and see whatever I'm going to be doing this year. I still don't know. Haven't figured it out. I do know what I won't be doing, though. A repeat of this, which is from the 2012 Los Angeles Podcast Festival, Schmitty Comes Alive, with a story that you've not heard unless you purchased this in the past or were in the room. You could have been in the room. I get a question. If you were in the room, why did you not purchase the download? That seems weird, right? I mean, it seems like you shouldn't because you were there and you experienced it once, but it also seems like if you were there, you would want to buy it for fucking posterity, right? For posterity! When they catalog your belongings and they go, oh my god, he was there and he owns it. Amazing! Because you got to pass it on to your grandkids so they know that you were there in the room of 75 people who enjoyed it. All right, so this is me at the 2012 Los Angeles Podcast Festival. Remember, tickets are available for me at the 2014 Los Angeles Podcast Festival at tiny.cc/40YOBPOD. Buy the tickets, come and see the show. Who knows what I'll be doing live? But right now you can get a taste of how I perform live by listening to what I did in 2012 at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, Schmitty comes alive.
Oh, yeah! I am awake and alive,
Sure, why not? That was the plan, actually. It's like, I'm the only idiot who had theme music because I'm a fucking meathead. I'm like, it's important that you play this. It's the theme of the podcast. Nobody gives a shit at all. No one. Particularly when it's coming out of a goddamn Mr. Microphone. Fantastic. Apparently, folks, good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later, so that's exciting. Oh, my fucking awful. Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming. What's happening? Good to see you all. It's good. Oh, don't do that. See, all right, here's the thing. All right, I do a podcast. If you don't know about my podcast, it's literally just me talking, and my friend Lily produces it, and she laughs. And then we do a live show, and I talk, and then she laughs, and I'm like, don't fucking laugh. Don't laugh. You can't laugh. And that sounds retarded and antithetical to what I'm trying to accomplish. But trust me, once she starts laughing, you go, yeah, Lily, don't laugh. Honestly, I'll give you her phone number, and you can text her like I did. Because I did the Pod Smash show last night, and I was gripping. I mean, I was freaked out about it because I haven't done stand-up in like forever. So, and the weird thing, I go out and I do this show, and it's, it can be 3 hours. It can be, is. Because it's just an idiot talking in circles, and it doesn't stop. And so then last night I have 7 minutes, and I'm backstage white-knuckling like a broom, trying to practice holding a mic stand. And Graham and Chris are like, are you cool with this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Because out front is Doug Loves Movies, and they're killing. And they got a baby on stage, and it's amazing. And which sucks, because I was going to bring the baby on stage. It was my whole bit. You bring the baby on stage, you fucked me. Thanks. 6 guys in movies. You had to take my bit. So I'm waiting in the back, and it was supposed to be Will Anderson and then me. And I come in, and I'm like, fuck, I'm second. And they're like, it's okay, you'll be fine. But the thing is, it didn't matter if I was 8th. I would have said, fuck, I'm 8th, because I didn't want to go up. And so I'm back there, and I'm freaking out. And my favorite part of the festival so far, Mark Maron is back there. All right, and I did Mark's show. Mark is back there, and he's talking to a couple of guys, and he turns to walk out, and I'm the only person between him and the door. It's me and the door for Mark. And he walks through, and he looks me right in the face, and I go, hey, Mark, how are you? And he goes, hey, buddy. Like Pauly Shore! No idea! None! I sat in the garage and petted Boomer for an hour and a half talking about shit. No clue! And I'm not joking, it made me so happy. Like, it centered me at that point where I'm like, well, fuck, he doesn't know. Nobody knows who I am. Who cares then if I bomb? So I walked over, I think I skipped over to Graham and Chris, and I'm like, oh my God! The best thing ever just happened. What? Mark Maron has no fucking idea who I am. That's good for you? All right, whatever you need to use. And then I split, I got a water, and I came back, and they got to him, because then Mark goes, hey, Mike, I didn't recognize you. Makes sense. I don't sell coffee. So, yeah. So, and how about a big round of applause for the festival and everybody working hard and previous shows. I can't tell you how happy I am to have every fucking light in the room on. That's great. Seriously, I talked to the guys. They're doing this again next year, and they're, fingers crossed, they're hoping to get more uncomfortable chairs for next year's shows. That would be great. Holy fuck. It's literally, every show is like, it's either this with every light on, or it's I'm about to confess to a rape. Like, the lighting is so bad. They got Benson and Stabler and a spotlight in the back, and it's like, be funny, assholes, come on. I saw the Sklars shrouded in darkness. It was horrible. It was like twin ghosts were haunting me with jokes, finishing each other's sentences. It was horrifying. All right. Easy. Fuck it. Do it. Die. I don't care. This is the show that killed Morrissey. All right, folks. So the Pod Festival, it's amazing. I've been here for all the events, just like glomming on to just praying anyone knew me. And Lily's like, oh, dude, let's go to that pool thing. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go to the pool thing. She's like, no, we have to go to the pool thing. And I said, okay, because in the beginning of the festival, they had a pool party for meet and greet. And so on my show last week, I told everybody, I go, look, I'm going to the pool party because Lily wants me to go. So please, if you go, come up and talk to me. It'll be great because I don't want to be the guy nobody recognizes and knows at the goddamn pool party. I went to the pool party. I showed up. I got my passes. I dropped my merch off, and I go downstairs. I get a text from Lily. Not coming to the pool party. Sorry, Looking forward to tomorrow, though. And winky emoticon. Ha-ha. Dick. But the pool party, seriously, you did that. And I took a picture. I had met listeners at that point because when I walked in, people were very nice, and they came up and talked to me. I met, my friends Heidi and Suzanne and Mel are here. Heidi's from Indianapolis. I talked about her on the show. If you listen to the show, and if you don't, who cares? That's fine. But they're here, and I was talking to them. And then some other listeners who were very nice came up and talked to me. Jane and Barry and Mary. Barry and Mary are married. That's a lot of Aries. Fuck, get a divorce. Honestly, that's ridiculous, right? If you're a Barry and you meet a Mary, I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how much you're in love. You just move on to somebody else. Find a Phyllis. So they were very nice, and they approached me, and I bless you. I had met Jane in Boston because Jane and Mary were supposed to come to my Boston show. They actually bought tickets. And then I got a note from Mary saying that she was going to go and make fucking macaroni art with Jesse Thorne at the goddamn Max FunCon that weekend and would not be able to attend my Boston show. And the best part of it was that she sent the note, and I, like I care, or no, I have no idea if you're coming or not. It's not like I take roll at the beginning of the fucking show. Mary? I'm going to have to call her mom. Ridiculous. And so they were apologetic and nice. And so I sat with them. They were cool, and they wanted to hang out. And I couldn't hang out with them on Thursday, but Friday we were at the pool party talking. And as we're at the table, there's people kind of milling about, meeting people, saying hello. And to my immediate left is my friend Suzanne. And I see her there, and she's talking. And there's a guy talking to them. And he starts telling them, but my friend Suzanne must have said, I'm here to see my friend Mike. He's in the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. And then this guy goes, I don't listen to that show. And she goes, really? And he goes, yeah, it's too morose for me. Like, I can't listen to it. It's morose all the time. And it's like 3 hours. I can't invest that kind of time in it. And it's just, I like his stories about his family, but it's just, there's not enough. And I can't sit through 3 hours. And I'm a foot away, not even. But I don't care. Again, you can have your opinion on my show, and that's fantastic. Fine, enjoy it. But I then tell Jane and Mary and Barry, this guy's talking about me. So we listen to him talk more and more about me, and and he wasn't mean. He was just saying that he's morose and he doesn't like it, and good for you. I don't care. 15 minutes later, we're all talking. Lily sends me the text. I take a picture of them sad, and I text it back to Lily to prove that they were upset. And the guy who was talking to my friend Suzanne, this is about 20 minutes later, sits down at our table. Just sits, uninvited, certainly. I mean, he just sidles up and plops down, and he's like, how you doing? I'm Benjamin. And we're like, great, good to see you. And he goes, I'm from Calgary, and he's shaking hands all around, and that's the way to be at this thing. You're at the pool eating fried risotto balls with a Mexican Bob Hope serving it. Fucking by all means, meet everyone. Did you see that dude? I'm not the only one. Or as I call him, Roberto Esperanza. So he's walking around serving shit. So if you're alone, that's the whole point. That's why you got the badge. Go meet people and stuff. So Benjamin sidles down. He meets us, and he meets all of the Barry and Mary and Jane, and then he puts his hand out to me, and he goes, Mike, I love your show. It's great to meet you. And I go, you don't love my fucking show. What? I go, I heard you. You're a foot away from me. I'm morose. You don't like me. I'm too long. It's fine if you don't like it, but don't come tell me you like it. And that's Benjamin, by the way, right here in the front row. My favorite part is you still came. You still came to this. I ruined the pool party for you. Enough. All right. It's like, I really don't care at this point, but it just makes me laugh that you're like, you're eating like a blue cheese spread. You're like, I love your show. It's great. A second ago, you hated me. All right. So the pool party drifts off. Everybody ends. We go up to see the Sklar's and go see Eddie Pepitone yell fuck 100 times. And at the Long Shot, the podcast. And in between, my new friends, Barry and Mary and Jane, they had wanted to hang out with me on Thursday, but then they asked me if I would hang out with them on Friday if I wanted to go get some dinner. And I said, yeah, I can do that. It was after the Sklar's show. And so we come downstairs, and they're like, where are we going to go? I said, I don't know, and because they think I know the town, and I don't. So I went to the concierge, and I'm like, we're looking for sushi. And they go, oh, it's great. It's like a 20-minute walk up to Ocean Boulevard, and you go over, and it's here and there. And I'm standing there getting these instructions, and they're great. They're getting their phones out. They go, all right, it's a 20-minute walk. Let's go. And I go, okay. We walk outside, and I go, guys, I don't want to walk fucking 2 minutes, let alone... I'm fat, and I have a car. I own a car. Seriously, that's... They go, well, we have a car too, but we don't mind walking. And I go, yeah, because you're not from here. You're from fucking Boston, where, you guys still ride horses with Paul Revere. I want a car. So then they're looking on the phone for where to go, and then there's a Mexican joint. So we went to close, like a Mexican joint, like a block away. And when people eat with me, all right, if you don't know me and you don't listen to the show, I will eat with listeners, and I will force them to eat things that they normally would not eat, which sounds awful, but it's not nearly as awful as in real life as it sounds, I promise. Until you go to the Mexican place. Now, we get the menu, and they're looking, and they're like, I don't know, it all looks so good. And immediately my eye sees goat. So I just put the menu down, I go, we're getting goat tacos. And then, what? They go, we're getting goat tacos right now, all of us. I'm getting 4 goat tacos. Whatever else you want, fine, but I'm ordering goat tacos for the table. And they know, because they listen to the show, and they're like, all right. So we order, and for some reason they wanted hard shell goat tacos. Goat is a tough meat. You don't want to encase it in cement, but good for you. So they get hard shells, I get a soft shell. They bring it out, 3 soft shells, 1 hard shell. Fucking dyslexic Mexican. All right, so they bring it. I'm surprised the goat wasn't wrapped around the tortilla. That's all the fucking way. No fucking idea. So they bring the goat, and everybody's game, and Barry gets the hard shell, the rest of us get the soft, and we bite it, and I will tell you, first of all, Barry inhales his fucking goat taco, like, as if he'd been waiting his entire life to eat goat and brag about it. Mary kind of pokes around, but she's eating it, and she's trying it, and she's enjoying it. Jane, she took a bite, and then immediately, shifted back to like an animal instinct, and covered it up with the lettuce on her plate so I wouldn't notice that she didn't eat. She goes, I think there's some fat on it. I go, it's an animal. Of course there's fat on it. Should I have asked for lean goat to Jane? Would that have been? But they did try, they did attempt it, and they did eat it. And I will tell you, I ate my goat taco, and I respect the 3 of them because they were fucking awful. Oh my God. I ate it, and I've had goat, like braised goat, and it was good, but goat is usually tough. This was the fucking Anderson Silva of goats. It was fucking ridiculous. I'm chewing it, and I can't break it. I can't break the seal on this goat. It's fucking horrible. It was like they barbecued gum. I mean, it was fucking awful. And I'm chewing it, and it's ropey, and it's stringy, and it literally tasted like eating rope. I thought I was chewing my way out of a fucking kidnapping. I swear to God. They should serve these tacos while you're in a trunk with tape over your mouth. Fucking awful. You know what? Fuck the trunk. Just put tape on your mouth. It would be a much better dining experience for you. God damn, it was grim. All right, so, but good for them. They put it all together, and that was nice. It is so light in here. Can we turn the lights off? Can we do that? Is that possible? I love the guy who doesn't work here at all. Look at that. Come on. Right. Yeah. And they found a hook on the door. Oh my God, it's awesome. All right. Well, this is weird because I got a fucking weird time limit, which is fine, and that's okay because I should fill it, right? I'm a normal human being. But also, for those of you, let's ask this. Who here has not heard the podcast by applause? That's a hand. Thank you. Cool. That's cool. All right. We're talking now? Are we talking? Benjamin, he talked me up to you? Of course he did. You know why? Because he talked to everybody here. And it probably prefaces every conversation now with, do you listen to the 40-year-old boy? Let's talk. Morose. All right, so so this is weird because it's like I do the show and the show is just me talking, man. It's just me telling stories, and there will be inside stuff in these stories. So if you haven't heard the show, because I always say on the show it's more like a book than a movie. Because if it was a movie, you would be able to get it all in one thing. And by the way, if this is a movie, how fucking horrible is that movie? Oh my God! Jesus Christ! You know what? I'm not even kind, and I do not rewind. That movie's terrible. Because apparently I put my movie on videotape. That's how bad it is. I can't even use the modern technology. That's how bad this movie is. Jesus. All right, so I didn't know what to do for the show, the live podcast order, because again, I was just telling somebody in the hallway, what, you Matt? Yeah, I told Matt in the hallway, I go, you know, when I do this at home, idiots, when I'm in Lily's house and, you know, the fucking microphone and all that, and then you hear it, it's a podcast. It's stand-up today. I mean, it's really all it is. It's like I refuse to sit down, because they said, do you want to sit down? And I'm like, oh, fuck no, awful. I don't give a shit if my hip snaps. I will stand up and do this show. There's a comic in Chicago named Bill Gorgo who, like, he was sitting down when he was 20, and it was just like, oh, dude, stand up and put some effort into your craft. All right. How mean is that? You know, it's funny, Bill Gorgo, I haven't seen him in 18 years. He has no idea. I just took his head off in a fucking ballroom before Murph and the Magic Tones come on. And until then, don't go changing. All right. Jesus. So I didn't know what to do. Like, I could tell, because I do a one-man show around the country, and it's stories from the show itself. And then I thought, well, fuck, I have a story that I've never told on here. On the podcast, that is, it was always my, in case of emergency, break glass story. Like, when I first started doing the podcast, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to talk about. The first night I actually wrote out, like, everything, and I was like 30 pages of notes. Not even notes, it was verbatim what I thought I would say, which is, and if you hear me talk now, imagine typing this out. Because that's what I did. Every thought that came into my head, every every I typed it out to make sure I had it. Hey, that's Eric Butterfield. He's the only reason I'm doing this show. Apparently, producing the first 10 gives him carte blanche to walk in late to the live show. What the fuck, dude? All right, good to see you. Where was I, Eric? Where was I? Thank you. You're producing from now on. It was a story, because in the beginning I didn't know what I was ever going to say, and so I actually made a list of things that I could talk about, and then I'm always worried that I won't have anything to talk about, but in my mind I was like, oh, I've got this story hip-pocketed just in case. And then the show evolved to where I kind of talk about everything, and it's long, and things happen, and you discuss them. So if I don't discuss them, how horrible would that be? Are you guys discussing them with me? Is that happening at your house? All right, so... I should tell you this. Fuck, at all right, real quick. I was at the pool thing before I ruined it for Benjamin, and I was there, and I met... there was a girl named Jen who came in, and she was like, she was real nice, and she's written me before on Facebook, and she actually wrote, hey, is there sushi after the show? And she was very friendly. So she comes up to me and she meets me, and I was like, oh my God, nice to meet you, Jen. And I said, where's your husband? And she goes, he couldn't fly out, he's in Austin. I said, oh, that's fine, that's cool. I go, well, are you staying here in the hotel? She goes, no, I'm actually staying off site. And I go, holy God, where? She goes, it's like 2 miles away, I walked here. What? Roberto Esperanza came up and handed her a fucking risotto ball. And I said, well, that's awful. And I said, this will seem weird. I go, but I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle here. I will give you a lift home if you need a lift home later. And she's like, well, is it a bad neighborhood? I go, no, but it's still, it's like, you shouldn't walk 2 miles ever. And seriously, there needs to be a Jazzy or a Rascal involved. I don't care how young or old you are. So she's like, all right, well, you know what? That's fine. And I said, find me. Do not leave until you find me. I'm going to be around, lurking. And she's like, okay, great. So I saw the Sklars. I came down. I went to have goat. And then I was looking for Jen. And I kept telling them. I asked Jane, and she goes, I got to find Jen. I can't let Jen get lost, man. I can't let her get lost in the shuffle. So I came, finally, I went, I looked, and it was it was before Naughty Show. And I see Jen. And I walk up to her. And again, scared Jen, alone, no husband, staying off site. And so I walk up to her and I go, hey, because again, folks, I'm the talent. So I walk up and I go, hey, Jen. And of course she's going to be happy to see me, right? Because I'm Mike Schmidt and I'm paying attention to a nobody. So I walk up. And I go, hey, Jen. And she goes, oh, hi, Mike. How are you? And I said, good. And she goes, oh, great. Hey, I want you to meet Ben. And I said, all right. And she introduced me to Ben. She goes, yeah, Ben and I are kind of hanging out. I've been making friends here at the festival. I go, great. And she goes, I've been talking and following the documentary crew around. I said, good. She goes, yeah, I met everybody. She goes, I'll introduce you to these other guys. And I'm like, I don't have any interest in talking to you, Jen, let alone your new posse of podcast friends. I'm here to take care of you, right? You're the baby chick who can't find her way. And Ben blows me up because Ben has no idea who the fuck I am. He's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Good to see you. I'm like, because he's Mac and Jen. He doesn't want anything to cut into his time. And she's like, yeah. She goes, don't worry about me. And I go, well, tell you what, give me your phone number so I don't lose you. You can text me so I can drive you later. She's like, all right, yeah, it's 5-1. Hold on a second. And she turns around and she talks to some guy named Kumbaya. What the fuck was that guy's name? Yeah, all right. She starts talking to Ben and another dude, and they start discussing the naughty show that's coming. They blow me off to talk about another fucking show. I'm taking care of her. I'm giving you a lift. Fuck, performer, motherfucker. So I fucking, you know what I did? I sunk into the hedges like Homer Simpson, just gone, disappeared. I said, fuck it, find your own way home. I don't care. Maybe Ben and Kumbaya will drive your ass home. All right. And they wanted to. All right, so. But then Jen's been, and now she's wearing my shirt. I feel bad. But still, it was, but I gave it to her because she looked cold. All right, so, because every festival I go to, I find an urchin to nurture. Oh, Christ. I have a gerbil Habitrail bottle. Drink. All right, so. But again, she's more industrious than me because she's like, oh, I work South by Southwest. I do all this stuff. Because I saw her last night. I go, you still walking? She goes, I rented a bike. I wouldn't know. Where to. Fuck. Seriously, if I went out to rent a bike, you would find my corpse in 4 days. With just the word bike, B-I-K, and then a drawn off E in the dirt. Oh, Christ. All right. All right. So I had this story, and I figured, I go, you know what? I wasn't going to do this. And then I said, you know what? Maybe I can sell this episode, and people will buy it because it's a story they've never heard. Ha, because I'm a jerk. So I think I'm going to do that. But sure. Cut to an hour later, I'm telling goat recipes. Everybody's like, boo! I want my money back! All right. So if you haven't heard the podcast, it's going to be weird, man, because there might be inside stuff in here. But if I'll tell you what, if you need explanations, if you need me to tell you anything after the show, we'll do a syllabus, and I'll explain everything. All right. When I was a kid, oh, you'll like this one, Benjamin. You jagoff. All right, so. Panic on the streets of London. All right, so. Anyway. So, never mind. All right, so. Oh, yeah, that's, by all means, film this. Right to videotape. We've discussed it earlier. It was discussed. We took a vote. It's videotape. Wait, the red light's on? Oh, sir, hold on. I'm sweating. All right, so. When I was a kid, 16, I got my first job. And I've worked a million jobs in my life, serial killer jobs, but it all started at a grocery store. In Chicago called Jewel Foods. And I got a job as a bagger with my friend Jeff for the summer. It was our high school senior year ended. Our high school senior year, he continued to college. I did not. I continued back to high school for a 5th year. I'll explain that again in the syllabus. So we got a job for the summer at Jewel, and that was a big deal, man, to be a kid and get a job at a grocery store because it meant you didn't have to work fucking fast food, which is death for any teenager because it's I had friends who worked at McDonald's, and it didn't matter. They could go home and take 40 showers, and they still smelled like Grimace's ballsack. I mean, it was fucking horrendous. Just awful. So you did not want to be. And the thing is, if you go to McDonald's, it doesn't smell like that. It's just like a place. But when you leave and you put the food in your car for 15 minutes, forget it. You're McDonald's on wheels for fucking 2 weeks. So I didn't want to work fast food. I got a job at the grocery store working at Jewel. And you should have been here earlier. I was fucking hilarious. So literally come in and film the beginning of the story. That's going to be great. So I got a job. It was a supermarket. It was a big supermarket, Jewel. It wasn't like some mom and pop bullshit. It was like Jewel, which is like a Ralph's or a Stater Brothers or a Safeway or a Piggly Wiggly or I don't know. Where do you live? I don't know. What's a place in Boston? What's a big place? It's nothing like that. All right, so you can't see this on the podcast. I'm dancing, folks. That was great. All right, because I can dance if I want to. All right. I can leave my friends behind, Barry. You know why? Because my friends don't dance. If they don't dance, Barry, no friends of mine. Great, now Men Without Hats is going to sue me for selling the podcast. They're probably on the road somewhere now. The guy's in there. You know, it's funny. Yeah, actually, that would work. What if he's in the back and they're trying to talk him? That song sounds like you're trying to talk to Men Without Hats on stage. Come on, man. You can dance if you want to. My friends don't dance. All right, never mind. So, what the fuck? Why did I get into Men Without Hats? Where was I? Jewel. And could not be more contempt in your voice, friend. Fucking Jewel. So I got a job as a bagger at Jewel, and I was 16, so it was great, and I got along well with everybody there. And I will tell you this, I thought, because again, you're 16, you think you're cool. I think I'm cool now. When I was 16, holy shit, was I an idiot. We had to do this thing. All right, this will tell you all you need to know about me. At Jewel, when you're a bagger, if they needed customer service up front, like in Trader Joe's now, they'll ring a bell or some bullshit to get somebody up there. Well, we had an intercom. So, and it hung from the ceiling like a goddamn ring announcer microphone. So they would say to the bagger, they go, we need, grocery assistance or whatever. So we'd have to pull it down and you'd say, grocery customer assistance on 8, grocery on 8. And you'd let the microphone go. Unless you were me. When I realized I had unvarnished access to a fucking microphone, forget about it. So it took me a couple times to do it. I built up to it, but then finally one day they're like, "Hey, Mike, we need assistance on 6," and I'm like, "Grocery customer assistance on 6. Grocery on 6." Because that's what you need an announcement for help is ennui. You need that. Certain joie de vivre right there in the call up to find out how much the peas cost. So I would do that all the time, and they hated it. Like there was, and they were nice, like the cashiers and the baggers and stuff. But the management, they tolerated me because I was a good bagger. And you know what? Because you know what? When I was a kid, bagging used to mean something. All right, let's talk about that for just a second. Yeah. Bagging was a respectful industry when you were a kid. It was a good job to have. Now they put any fucking flotsam and jetsam bagging your fucking groceries. That's not even a joke. At my Ralph's, this is just 2 examples. At my Ralph's, there is a retarded kid bagging groceries at my Ralph's. A big fucking Downs catcher's mid-head kid bagging shit. And it's like, fucking Corky, don't drool on my jicama. All right, I'll take the bag. But give me the retard 100 times over the guy. This is not even a fucking, I'm not kidding. Karen, am I kidding? There's a guy bagging groceries at my Ralph's on Ventura Boulevard with a hook for a hand. A hook. And I always want to ask him, did that happen here? Did it get caught in the belt somehow? No. That's why you got to put that fucking barrier between groceries or get sucked right in. It's like a horror show. It's like, dude, fucking Freddy, enough with my orange juice. I can put it in the, I know what you did last summer. You fucked up my cantaloupe. Put it down. All right. But a hook, fucking awful, bagging. And he's a checker sometimes. Really? Really? Fuck it, I'll steal it and do the time in prison and come back. You can finish ringing it up. So when I was a kid, bagging meant something. They cared. We cared. I cared. So I'm bagging groceries. I'm doing announcements. Everything's fine. And it's the summer. And it's important for me to establish a beachhead in this grocery store because all of my friends, my real friends, the UN of evil, who I've talked about on the show, they're leaving for college. Like I said, at the end of the summer. I'm not. And which actually may have been their motivation to go to college, quite frankly. Fuck furthering their education. They're like, let's leave him behind. Let's go. So it was important for me to make friends outside of my original friend group because they're all going to be gone, and then I'll just be fucking sitting in my house with my mom, awful. So and going terrible. It's grim. So I start making friends with like the cashiers and the baggers, and I get along great with pretty much everybody. And the service desk people, they think I'm a scamp because of my little announcements. Like I said, the people who hated me were the grocery dudes who had to actually come up and do the price checks. But the front of the house liked me. You know who fucking hated me? Kelly. Exactly. How funny is it if I never tell you who Kelly is? All right. Or ladies, or what, even better, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly. And he just walks in. Kelly was the store detective. And back when that was a thing in supermarkets, and he was the worst type. Literally, he wore a winter coat in the summer because he thought he was throwing people off, and he looked like Stephen King fucked a turtle. I mean, he was just like so, like kind of like half slumpy with the fucking big glasses, and just like he had a perpetual scowl, thinking he was intimidating nobody. And he would walk around, and he did that thing because they have to hang there and try to look like a customer, but he would read greeting cards. You just knew he was the store dick. So I'm in the front, and Kelly hated us, and he hated me and Jeff, and we would make fun of him. So one day, a few months into working there, we come to work to pick up our checks, Jeff and I. And Jeff drove a Cavalier at the time. Here, this will say a little bit more about me as a 16-year-old. I wanted Jeff to get a license plate that said Jeff's Cav. And he said no, and I said, I will pay for it. It'll be fucking awesome. Not awesome. Took me 30 years to decide it wasn't awesome, but still. Last year he's in, I'm in. Literally sitting down and writing the story, I went, that wasn't an awesome idea. Think I better double clutch on this one. You can actually see I crossed it out and wrote not awesome. Which makes no sense, because I could have just put that little shoehorny and put not ahead of awesome, right? They're my notes. Nobody's going to see them. All right. So I wanted him to get Jeff's Cav. So we're in the Cav. We're in Jeff's Cav, and we pull up out front, and we work there. So we pull right into the fire lane because we're very important. And we get out of the car. We go in to pick up checks at the service desk, which is right by the front entrance. So we go to walk in, and it's those electric doors, the bullshit you step on the mat and it opens up. So he opens up. We walk in, and as we're walking to the service desk, 3 kids sprint past us with a football. Just like running interference, like, and they're just sprinting hard. One of them's got a football. The other 2 are running, and they hit the door. And we just see them go, and it's like, whoa. And we go walk in the service desk, and Diane goes, stop them, stop them! Diane is the service desk manager. And we go, what? And she goes, they stole something. Stop them! And we're just standing there, and Kelly, the fucking doofus Stephen King turtle, comes loping up, and she's like, they stole something, go get them. And he goes, I didn't see them. How many of them were there? Like, he's asking questions. Dude, there's a crime being committed. Spring into fucking action! So I turn around and I see them, okay? And I should tell you this. I get the job at Jewel. It was very important to get a job at a grocery store, but it was also important for me to get a job close because I did not drive, all right? Because in high school, I failed driver's ed. Because we used to have simulator machines, all right, where you sit in the simulator machine and you learn how to drive. They tended to frown on me going vroom, vroom. But so I failed driver's ed, so I didn't have a driver's license, so my friends fucking schlepped me all over the place. So Jewel was actually right next to my subdivision, which was called Winston Woods. There was Jewel, and then there was the big clubhouse. If you ever subdivision in the suburbs, they have a clubhouse where you have meetings and they have a pool and all that bullshit. Well, that was right next door, and then behind it was the vast expanse of Winston Woods where I lived. So I could walk to work. It was also great. So I turn around as they run out the door, and Kelly is doofing it up at the fucking desk, and I look and I see them. They turn the corner around a fence, and the fence goes toward the clubhouse, back into the vast expanse of Winston Woods. My territory. Kelly's talking to Diane. We see them disappear. I'm standing with Jeff. I look at Jeff. Jeff looks at me. We fucking run like maniacs. We run outside. We hop in the Cavalier. I hop in the passenger seat because, again, I don't drive. But Jeff, he drives. I think he actually dukes a hazard across the fucking hood like he slid. He fucking hops over, he gets off, he comes in the car, and we fucking floor it. We spin around, and again, I know where they're going. I know where they're going because I live in Winston Woods. There's a clearing and a ravine, like this fucking, not a ravine, I'm living in a suburb, what the fuck? But a clearing like a ditch. So I know where they're heading because I know where they're going to fucking hide. So I go, dude, go, go, go. We come up to the parking lot and we got to turn left. So, there's oncoming traffic and then unless you make the wide loop and go to a light, fuck that. We got to go into the clubhouse. So I go, dude, left. He goes, what? I go, left, left. He turns left into oncoming traffic. And I don't blink. Go, go, go. He turns left, oncoming traffic's going, I go, left, left! He turns another left into the clubhouse. People screech, we don't fucking care. We go into the clubhouse, we pull around, I go, right, left, right, right, left. We go on Walker, we go on Monroe, we go around, and we're shooting, driving, I'm looking for them, and we can't see them because they were running, but we're in a fucking car, we gotta find them, right? So I go pulling around the corner, all of a sudden out of the fucking corner of my eye, I see a dude hiding in bushes. And I see him, and I go, dude, go, go, 1-1! I yelled 1-1. Like I'd done this before. And the only thing better than that, Jeff knows what I mean. Dude, 1-1! So he hits the brakes, but before the brakes even stop, I've got the door open and I'm jumping out of the car. And these are townhouses with hedges in front. So it's not like he's, hiding really. I can see him perfectly through the bushes. We pull out, he fucking hits the brakes, I jump out and I fucking sprawl out and I walk, and this is the best part, the kid is in the bushes, okay? And he sees us and he does this. Like he's hiding, and then the fucking car screeches to a halt, I jump out and he just goes. He emerges from the bushes like he's on a morning constitutional. Bushes are all right. How you doing, fellas? So he doesn't run. He just goes down a little walk, like he just tries to nonchalant it. And I'm there, and I go, stop! And the most amazing thing happens. He stops. We're not cops. We're in Jeff's cab, for Christ's sake. I think I'm wearing shorts and a football jersey. And I yelled, stop! And he stops. And he looks at me and I go, get over here. He gets over there. Like I said, I'm 16, Jeff's 17, this kid's 12. Got to be 12. And he comes walking over and I go, get in the car. Goes to get in the car, and we don't have back seats. Like, we have back seat, but we don't have the doors, the passenger doors. So I open the door, and I pop the seat up, and he goes to get into the car. I put my hand on his head like a fucking perp. Get in there. He gets in the back seat. I fucking put the seat back. I get in. Jeff gets in, then we go, where are your friends? He goes, oh, no. I go, 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 go. I know where they're at. So we drive up Walker. We turn left. We go back down Monroe. We double back around. There's Diane Court. We pull in Diane Court. We spin around. And I go over by the ditch. We see them. Two kids sitting by the ditch. And we pull up in the car. They don't move. They're just sitting there like fucking Jonathan Banks in Breaking Bad when fucking got shot in the stomach. Just peering out at the sunset, knowing they're finished. So we pull up, and then I love the fact that they stop and they come and we call. It's like, dude, I'm fat then. I'm fat now, but then that's like 100 pounds ago. So I was still in decent shape. But I mean, I'm not going to catch a 12-year-old in dead sprint, am I? I mean, is he going to jump into a drain pipe or scurry into a mouse hole? I'm not going to get this kid. But he stopped. So we pull up, and Jeff goes, I'll stay with this one. So I get out of the car, and the two guys are sitting there. And they got the football, and I go, hey. They look up, and I go, let's go. They go, what? And we go, we got to go. We got your friend. He's in the car. He told us it's you. Let's go. So they stand up, and they just slump their shoulders, and they walk to the car. Open the thing. I put my hand on their heads. We duck them in. Jam the three of them in the back of Jeff's cab. I look at Jeff, we just nod. And I look, and the one kid is sitting behind me, he's got the football in his hands. And I look and I figure that's what they stole. And I look at the football and I realize for the first time that it's not a football. These kids are all 12 years old, 3 of them. And I look closer and it's not a football. This kid is holding a roast beef. In cellophane with a tray and ropes. Like it's all tied off. These 3 12-year-old kids stole a roast beef. Isn't that a children's book? I mean, seriously. And I don't live in the ghetto. Like, literally, I live in a middle-class suburb. Is this a good time? Why are you stealing a roast beef? That has got to be the worst Project Mayhem stunt I have ever heard of in my life. All right, tomorrow, you're all going to start a fight. Not only that, you're going to lose a fight. Day after that, you're stealing meat. Roast beef, chicken, steak, I don't give a fuck. You're stealing it. Wednesday, first annual Project Mayhem cookout. All right, so. To celebrate the losing in the fight and the successful stealing of the meat. I got to keep you guys in it somehow, all right? It's not all standing on a porch with you guys. All right. So we get them in the car, and we go to bring them back to Jewel. And we drive, and my favorite part is we were so fast, we fucking to the floor, zooming, and on the way back, we're driving like we're the grand marshals of a parade. Like 10 miles an hour, windows down, waving to people, how you doing? And it's got 3 perpetrators in the back going to take care of that collar. We head to Jewel, we get to the clubhouse, we turn, we pull into Jewel. And we pull right back into the fire lane again. We're very popular. And we open the doors, and I open the thing, and I get out. The first kid gets out holding a roast. And the other 2 kids get out sad, just slumped over. And we put our hands on their shoulders. And like the little rascals, we march them into Jewel. And we walk in, and I look, you guys like me, all right? I have never had a conquering hero's response more than the day I walked 3 roast beef thieves back into my grocery store. We walked in, and everybody, checkers, clapping and screaming, like amazing. And we're just standing, we're like, yes, of course, waving. And off my favorite part, off to the corner, there's just fucking Kelly in his winter coat in July, furious. So they started, this is true, we then were Batman and Robin from that moment on. Of course, I failed driver's ed, so I'm fucking Robin, but fine. Whatever. And I knew the day I failed driver's ed, I would never be Batman. Fuck, I knew it. So I continued to work there as a bagger, and then summer ends. Now it's a Green Day song. Then September ended. Oh. So everybody goes to college. My friends leave, and I continue to work there. But I'm friends now with those people, so it's great. I have kind of a firm base, and also I've returned to school, unfortunately, working school, just trying to live my life. And then more people leave and go to school, so they have a dearth of checkers. So they promote me to checker. And that's great because that's a union gig. A bagger was a union gig, but this is a real union gig. And if you know anything about, what was it, Shaw's? Yeah, if you know anything about Shaw's, his grocery store from earlier, never mind. Well, you've been in grocery stores. Checkers run the fucking entire building. Like, how many times you've gone into a grocery store and there's some 97-year-old Methuselah picking out fucking numbers because she's been there forever and it's a union gig and she's going nowhere. She's got checker tenure. Her fucking gnarled claw will never be separated from those buttons. So Checker's a good gig, particularly at fucking, like I said, 17, 18, or 17 at the time. So so I wind up working as a checker, and it's great. And I'm even worse as a checker than I was as a bagger because I don't want the baggers to do the call. Like I want to still do the intercom, but I realize I have to cede something to them. But now it means I don't have to schlep out and get fucking carts in the winter, and I can sit there at my thing and be friendly with people. And also, here's something I chose to do as a checker because I'm stupid and had no personality. One day I came to work and I had Gumby in my pocket. Because I was watching Gumby on TV and I got into Gumby and Pokey, and so I brought a 7-inch tall Gumby with his arms out like this in my pocket. Because God knows I want to talk to people on the line. And so then kids would see him, they'd want to shake Gumby's hand, and I had a Pokey and I put him on the scale and everything was fun. We're having a good time until the people came over and they're like, "Why do you have a Gumby in your pocket?" And I said, "Well, I'm having fun." And they go, this is a place of business. You can't have a Gumby in your pocket." Probably not the first time they've used that sentence, but they were prepared. So I was pissed. So again, because I'm 17 and I think nobody can tell me what to do, I'm fucking furious at them. But I take my Gumby and my Pokey out, and then I bitch to anybody that'll listen. I can't believe I can't have a Gumby, whatever. Free rights, America, free speech. So I'm checking, and I'm getting along with people. Like I said, I'm hanging out with people. I start dating a girl there. Everything's great. That's my new social circle. And then one day I'm checking, and there was a thing we used to do. When you checked, by the way, there were terminals. There was terminal 1 through 12. And there would be a drawer that would go into that terminal and would stay there all day or until the shift change. So multiple cashiers would use the terminal. It was never individual. It was always multiple people using the terminal. So one day, and I realized, I learned from the guy who trained me. He told me that you could do this. You weren't supposed to do this. But he said if you were short on cash, you could grab a couple bucks out of the drawer and go and do whatever you're going to do, but then pay it back at the end of your shift. Or get one of your other cashier friends to loan you or float you, and they would pay you back. Now, I can tell you who is not behind this at all. Jewel Foods. This was not in the employee handbook. But it became kind of a shorthand among cashiers where you knew that you could do that. So one day I grabbed $10 and I went and I got some lunch and I went up to the break room and I came downstairs. I finished my shift and I did my drawer. And once I finished, you got to hand it in. I finished my drawer and I checked because it was the end of the shift. I gave it to Diane at the service desk, and then they count it against what your count is and against the receipts for the day. So she counts it out, and as she's counting it out, I realize I fucking pinched $10 out of the drawer and I didn't replace it. And I don't want to go, "Oh, Diane, hold on. I owe the drawer $10. Because that blows the lid off the employee lend-lease program we have here at Jewel. And everybody goes down. I can't be the guy who does that. So I just sit there frozen because I don't know what the fuck to do. And then I think about, well, if I can get out of it, because you're in a cube, you can't leave until they count your money. So I want to try and get somebody's attention to hand me $10 and pretend I dropped it on the floor, anything. I'm fucking sweating. And she counts the drawer and she runs it up. And she looks up and she goes, "You're off 11 cents. You're good. Go home." Probably the worst thing that could have ever happened, really. Because if they're not going to, look, it's a monolithic corporation, Jewel Foods. I don't know if they're actually owned by American Food Stores Company, and they're not going to miss $10 on that day. And I figure, well, dodged a bullet. And then came to work the next day, and it was time for lunch. And I grabbed $5 out of the drawer, had some lunch, didn't put it back, did the drawer, came out even. Now, the cautious among you would probably see two bites at the apple and stop right in your tracks and go, you know what, that's it. That's all I can do. Really, I took 2 turns at it. I got away with it. Enough. However, Robin doesn't think like that. So I felt that if I was even, it was bouncing back, obviously, because what they were doing it against all the other drawers and all the money. And like I said, it's a large company, and they're not going to miss it. And they were shitting on me anyway and kind of holding me down. It was, you know what, it was Gumby's severance pay. They fired him, and I think Gumby gets some severance pay, motherfucker. So the weeks go on, and I grab $10 here, and I grab $5 there, and I grab maybe 10 or $15 here, and I'm taking money every day, and the drawer's even. Or off 20 cents, or off 30 cents, never a problem. And I'm like, fuck, this is amazing. It's great. So I decided to step it up a notch. And after a couple of months, I decide I'm going to take $50. And I do. And I was off by $1 that day. And I acted horribly. I was apoplectic. Oh, $1? Oh, I'll pay you. I'll give you $1. I can give you $1. Don't worry about it. It'll bounce back. Okay. So I got a little more brazen, and I talked to my friends. I had some friends who were great and away at college, and I had some other friends who were sometimes at college drinking, and then they were back home, and they liked schemes. And they didn't mind terrible things sometimes. So I had my friends Danny Laporta and Jimmy Harbin and Sam Silva, who I've talked about on the show, actually. They were the guys who I went down to NIU, and Laporta challenged a frat house to a fight, and they wouldn't fight him. Danny Laporta was 17 years old and he looked like the brawny paper towel guy. He was a fucking giant. There was a guy we would go to parties, all right, because it was always that thing where you had, I'm sure when you were in high school, we were all 17, and we'd go to parties with like 22-year-olds, like the fucking Gepperts and dudes like that. And there was this dude, Pete Vondra. We fucking hated him. We hated Vondra because he was like 26, and he was at our fucking parties. It's like, dude, and he would just hang out at the keg and make your life miserable. Unless you were fucking Danny Laporta. So we would be with Danny, and Danny would be there, and one day, it was the fucking greatest. Danny got loaded. He's so fucking drunk in the garage, and Vondra's being an asshole to people. And Laporta just walks up to him and he goes, "Shut up, Fred." And Pete's like, "Come on, Danny." He goes, "Fuck you, Fred Flintstone. Shut the fuck up." And he gets right in Vondra's face. And Vondra, he's like, "You're a dick, Danny." And he made him leave the garage. He made fucking Vondra, 17, 26, makes him leave the garage. Laporta's a fucking monster. Laporta's the guy, we egged his car. All right, there was a story. In the winter, we egged a car that had all the windows open and fucking destroyed the inside, filled it with like dozens of eggs. The next day, we found out it was Laporta's car. By year one. All right, so... So I told Danny and Bob and Sam to come in and go shopping. And they filled 2 carts with groceries, roasts, steaks, everything but liquor. I had no balls in the liquor department because they were underage. But everything else, they just packed it in. And they had 2 carts. I mean, it was like Animal House where they had like meat stuffed in their sweaters. Nothing for me today, thanks. They're filling the belt with it, and all right, I got to do this. It's recording. You at home, listen, I'll try to do this. My hands, imagine if you're in a grocery store and the checker keeps grabbing things and scanning it over the little beep, beep thing. Beep, 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 beep. But I'm doing it high enough so none of them are registering. So I'm scanning everything and throwing it down the belt to get bagged, but none of it is getting rung up on the register. I'm doing like every 6th or 8th or 10th item that I grab, I'm beeping it. So it finishes, and Danny, they're just standing there. And at this point, it's a game show. It's fucking great because you're not hearing the beeps, but you're just seeing the numbers, and they're not adding up, and they're just looking at me, and we're all kind of like on pins and needles to see exactly how much it's going to cost for 2 carts of groceries. And by the time I finish, I look up, and I look at him, and I go, $24.61, please. And Laporta's got this huge grin on his face, and he goes, "You serious?" And I go, "That's what the machine says." And he just goes, "Ha ha ha!" Hands me the money, hands me 25, tells me I can keep it. And they walk out, and they get help from the bagger, like they fucking giant bags of groceries. So that was the most brazen thing I did until my friend Matt worked there with me as a bagger, and then he became a cashier. And then he was going away to school. And he came in to meet me for lunch on the day he was leaving for school. So I had my lunch break. We went to the break room. We hung out and talked. And I go, "Hey, come see me through my line before you split." And he did. He went down. He waited in line. He got to the front. And he bought some gum or some nonsense. I rang it up. And he paid me. And I went, "Good to see you, Matt. Enjoy school." And I shook his hand with $100 in it. I gave my friend Matt $100 out of my till as a going away present to go to school. Like I was getting a table at the Copa from Matt. I gave him a $100 handshake on his way to fucking Northern Illinois University. And he saw it, he felt it in his hand, and he looked at me, and he tipped his hand back, and he saw the $100, and he just started fucking laughing. And I go, enjoy your trip. And he's like, oh, Mike. And he put it in his pocket, and he left. And then I went to check my drawer that night, and it was even. Because, again, it's a huge company. That bounces back in the office, folks. So I got my check that day, and I took it home. Didn't work again for 2 days. Came in 2 days later. And I should say, when I got my check, I could not cash it because I would cash them at the service desk, and they didn't cash it after a certain time. So I took it home, and I was going to cash it when I came back to work 2 days later. So I came back to work 2 days later, and I went to the service desk. I go, hey, can I cash my check before I start? And they go, yeah, before we get you a till, need you to go upstairs. We got a meeting. I said, oh, okay. So I didn't think about it. I went into the back, waved at everybody, said hi, went through the break room, and I went to the office. And I walked in, and there's 4 people there. And one of them is Diane from the service desk, and one of them is the store manager, and then there's 2 guys in suits that I don't know. And as I stand in the doorway, they go, are you Mike Schmidt? And I go, yes. And they go, come on in. And Kelly comes in behind me. They close the door. And they said, we have to talk to you about some issues regarding your cash drawer. And I said, well, I haven't gotten a cash drawer yet today. And they said, no, for the previous work shift. I said, okay. I said, well, I mean, there wasn't a problem, was there? And they said, well, there was. There's a shortfall in your drawer on your last shift 2 days ago and on your shift before that. And apparently you've had a shortfall on your drawer for the past 7 weeks. Every day. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because I check out with Diane, I have to fill out my form, and they tell me it's even, and I go home. I mean, I don't know what happens after that. And they said, we know you were short one day, and it was an amount that was not allowable. Usually, it's $5. Well, that's fine. We understand it can happen because there are multiple people on the drawers. But once you get into double figures, you had a $10 shortfall, and I guess a $14 shortfall one day, and that alerts us that something might be going on. So we've been monitoring your drawer for the past 7 weeks. And I have you ever shit your pants? Had it crawl back in your body? And then shit your pants again? I'm frozen. I don't know what to say because I don't know I got no answers. I already tried. My drawers were even, and they said, yeah, there's been shortfalls, and they start ticking off numbers, and they go, we understand it's multiple people in multiple drawers, but this is consistent with all the drawers that you've been on. Every till that you've used has been short in double figures and by quite a bit. I went, wow. I said, I don't know what to tell you, and they said, well, we just want you to admit that you've been stealing from the company. We want to know how long it's been going on. And we want to know how much. I said, I haven't stolen anything. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, the drawers were even when I left. Whatever happens in the office, I can't testify to. Because apparently I'm 17 and I saw Columbo once. And they said, okay, well, we thought you might say that. You know those bubbles in the ceiling that are above every register? Those are cameras. We have actual film of you stealing from the drawers. You want to try again and tell us how much you've taken, how long this has been going on, and just admit to it right here. And I knew that I'm busted. Nothing I can do at that point. So I just went, I don't know what you want. And they said, well, you need to admit it. I go, yes. All right, yes. I did take some money. Not as much as you're saying. That's crazy. Because I'm really good at that excuse. What do I look like, an idiot? I'd steal every day. So I'm thinking multiple sins. No, that's not me, but maybe once. Maybe it happened once. And they're like, all right, so you admit you've been stealing from the company? And I said, yes, maybe a few times, but not like that. They said, well, we need a number, and we want you to admit. First of all, we don't want to call the police. We just want you to admit that you've done it, which you have, and we want to know how much, and you're going to pay it back. Now, I left out a key part of this story that I'll tell you right now. When I got this job, I was excited because it was a grocery store and it wasn't a fast food place, and I was thrilled to not have to stink of fast food and to be able to work in a clean place. Also, my mom worked at this grocery store. She worked for Jewel Foods and had been at the Bolingbrook location. She worked in Darien. She worked all over. They had transfers. She worked in the fish department in the meat market. My mom was a meat cutter and a fucking tooth chipper. My mom is mean. So once they found me out, and I've admitted it, and my mom knows Fran, like in the chef's kitchen downstairs, who slices lunch meat. I know it's going to get around, and so I go, look, what's going to happen if I admit to this and I say I'll pay you back and everything? I go, how am I paying you back without a job? They go, you can keep your job. You will work off your debt. We will take your checks. All you need to do is tell us how much it is. We will give you a number, and as you work, we will take it out of your checks. And I said, yeah, but all right, look, I don't mind paying you back. I'll admit to whatever you need me to admit to. Fine. Nobody can know. Because again, my friends, I don't want them to know that I'm this fucking felon idiot. So they said, all right, nobody has to know. You'll keep your job. It's not a problem. You just need to give us a number. You need to pay us back. You need to admit it. We need to get it all squared away. We need all the paperwork taken care of. I said, all right, well, I mean, how much? What do you want to know? And they go, well, we can't be sure exactly how much it is, and we can't be sure that you're telling the truth. We want you to take a lie detector. I said, what? They said, yeah, do you want to take a lie detector? And I said, I don't want to. Of course not. No. Then I go, no, we need you to, because we will ask you questions, we will get a number, and we will find out then exactly when you're telling the truth. I said, if I do this, I keep my job, nobody knows, I pay you back, everything's fine. Because again, I can't have my mom knowing, I can't have Fran knowing, I can't have anybody knowing. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. I said, all right, I'll do it. I said, okay, let's go in the other office. They take me in the other office, and this is a grocery store. They have a lie detector machine set up in the other office at the grocery store. Now, these are rooms I've never been in, and rooms I never, ever want to go in again. There were closed doors. You ever go to your work and there's a closed door? It's like you think, if I'm going to go in there, is the gimp in the floor? What the fuck? No, thanks. They bring me in, and they got it set up. There's an old dude who looks like right out of fucking 60 Central Casting with short sleeves. He looked like Mr. Wessel, my accounting teacher, and appropriate. And he's got a short sleeve white shirt on, and he's bald and the fucking horned rims, and he's like, have a seat. And he straps me in to a lie detector. And he put it around my chest. They put it on my fingers. So I sit there, and I don't know what the fuck to do, but I will tell you this. My mom, like I said, was kind of a roughhouser. So she ran with an interesting crowd. We had all right, I've told this story on the show. We had a guy staying in our house that was wanted on federal narcotics charges. And when I went to school one day, they came charging in the front door. And I ran upstairs. I go, Mom, Dale. And Dale went to hop out the window with a gun in his hand. And my mom said, don't! Because she didn't want her kids to see Dale get shot dead in the backyard. So that's who we had as friends. So hanging with them was fun. Because there was also our friend Mark. Like one day we came home in Winston Woods, the vast Winston Woods, in my townhouse in Monroe. I walked in one day, and there were like 45 microwave ovens and 11 televisions. And my brothers and I are like, we're all going to get a microwave and a television in our rooms. No, they had fallen off a truck. We were a way station. That's fine. So, but talking to them was interesting because, again, while my mom was, smoking dope with them, they would regale us with tales of their felonry. And one of them was how to beat a lie detector test. And what you're supposed to do is have a tack in your shoe. And every time they ask you something where you're going to lie, you put your big toe down on the tack so it spikes your blood, and it says you say that. And then when they tell you something about the truth, you do the same exact thing, so it monkeys with the results, and they don't know whether you're lying or telling the truth. At least that's what 17-year-old me tried to remember 19 steps from one office to the other to take the lie detector test. Frantically searching for a tack. They strap me in, and I figure, you know what, I can't find a tack, I'll just bite my mouth. I'll bite my lip and fucking cause pain. So they asked me, they're like, all right, is your name Michael Schmidt? Yes. And so they asked me questions, and I'm biting my lip, and literally it's like Elvis is on a lie detector test. Say, man, I didn't take nothing. So somebody put a note on that monkey. All right, so. I'm there, and I get hooked up, and I'm biting my lip, and then they get to this question. They're like, well, tell us, in your best recollection, how much money you have stolen from the cash drawer here at Jewel Foods. And I said, $40. Bite my lip as hard as I can. And he goes, no, that's a lie. I need you to give me a number that's real. You need to tell the truth here. And I went, $60? I'm sorry, that's a lie. I gave Matt Karp double that. Oh, not, oh, fuck, I said his name. Fuck. You heard of that? All right. That happens a lot. I handed Matt $100 on his way out. I fucking full well know it wasn't $60. So then I copped the $100. I go, $100. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. And now it's, again, literally, I'm like $150. I'm sorry, that's not correct. $160. I'm sorry, that's not correct. And they go, this is going to be, if you just be honest with us, this would get over much sooner, and you wouldn't have to sit here on the machine. And I go, I don't know. I'm not sure. $200? No, I'm sorry, that's a lie. $300. I'm sorry, that's not a number. And I know that's low, because I've been taking 7 weeks every day, and it got up to $20 a day, $25 a day. I mean, it's high. So I'm getting up there, and finally, and literally, as I'm sitting there, the mountain climber is just getting to the top of the fucking hill, just, oh, and I'm like, $600, and they go, no, I'm sorry, that's not correct. And I get $650. They go, I'm sorry, that's not correct. And I go, $700. And they stop, and they bring guys over, and they talk, and they look at the numbers and the graphs. And by the way, this is a good time to tell you, I have no fucking idea what a lie detector machine looks like. This could have been a toaster oven with a vacuum hose on it. I have no idea. But $700 was an acceptable number to them, so they said, okay, $700 cash. Now, how much merchandise have you taken from the store in food or in allowing purchases that were not supposed to be, that were not rung up? And I would pinch an apple here and there, or a sandwich, or a can of soda. And then, of course, Laporta came through and got $400 of the groceries. So I start again with low. I go 50, and they're like, no. And I said 65, no. And finally, they get me up. I said $450. That's where they finally got me to, and they go, all right, yeah, that's fine. So for a grand total, if you're playing at home, of $1,150. Still strapped in, they go have a chat. I'm biting my lip furiously. Test's over, I don't care. They come back, and they're like, all right, they disconnect me. And they said, all right, you're suspended. You won't be returning to work today. You will go home until we call you and tell you that we're back on the schedule. You'll sign over your paycheck today. That's your first installment. So we have to sit down and make this official. So we had to sit down. There was reams of paperwork. I had to sign a promissory note. It was like $1,141.68. And they were going to tack on like penalties and interest and bullshit. And I was like, dude, I don't care. Fill in the numbers. I'll sign it as long as I can work here and nobody knows. So I signed everything. They said, you're suspended for a week. We'll call you. I said, all right. Kelly's going to walk you out of the store. What? Well, Kelly has to walk you out of the store. because you're on suspension. I go, if Kelly walks me out of the store, everybody downstairs is going to know I'm being walked out of the store for a fucking reason by the store detective. I didn't say fucking. You can't, I can leave. It's fine. It's like down the stairs. I'll walk out, and Kelly's like, no, I'm going to walk you out. And as we walk out of the office, I turn the corner, and sitting there are Don and Jill, two other cashiers who have shared a terminal with me in the past, who are now in to take their own lie detector tests because I've been stealing money for 7 weeks. Because they've got to find out how much money they've taken, and they've got to find out how much merchandise they've taken. So I didn't want my friends to find out. But worse than that, I'm about to get my friends put on a fucking lie detector test. They see me being walked out by Kelly, and they just look at the floor. Because, you know, if they've even stolen $1, they're fucked because of me. I walk out. He takes me downstairs, and he fucking parades me through past the service desk. He makes me sign out at the sheet. Everybody's looking at me. They know. Everybody knows. I leave, and I walk home. And I don't tell anybody. I still pretend I'm going to work because I don't want my mom to know. I don't want anybody to fucking know because, again, I'm on suspension, but I'm not fired at least. So 2 days when I'm home, I get a phone call from Jewel, and they want to know when I'm going to make my next payment. And I said, I just made a payment, and you guys are going to be taking money out of my checks. So when I come back to work in a week, you guys can have that money. They go, who said you were coming back to work in a week? I said, they told me in the office that if I signed all the papers, I kept my job, I would pay you back, I could work it off. They go, you're no longer employed by American Food Corporation or Jewel Food Stores. Right now, you're a thief, and you need to pay back this money, and we want to know when your next installment is coming. You've signed the paperwork, we need it. I said, I got to find a job. I thought I was still working there. I mean, this is 2 days ago. I told you guys that it was going to be fine. I was going to work. You told me it was fine. I was going to work. I was going to have checks and everything. And they go, no, it doesn't matter. You're fired. You don't work here any longer. We need this. We'll call you again later this week. Hung up the phone. Frozen. Didn't know what the fuck to do. Left for work. Kept coming back and forth, going home, and like literally walking around like that kid who got kicked out of the Little Rascals Clubhouse, just like fucking learn that poem. So I'm hiding at the library and all sorts of shit, and so I go home. Like the 6th day, I go home, and my mom is home. She's in the living room. I come upstairs, and my mom goes, "How was work today?" Now my mom is a notorious bait and switch person. One time when I was a kid, I had walking pneumonia, and I knew my brother was on suspension from school, my brother Lenny. So my mom said, I got to take you to the doctor. I got to make sure Lenny has house keys. Let's go to the high school and drop him off. I go, no, Mom, it's fine. I'm sure he's got house keys. She goes, what, idiot? I'll bring him. It's fine. We go to the school. I see my mom disappear like a dot into the horizon, into the high school. I know full well Lenny's not there, and he's lied about his suspension. So I'm in the car waiting to go to the doctor, and then I see my mom emerge. First of all, I should say a black cloud came out of the school, and it floated over the parking lot, and then I saw my mom walk out of the school toward the car, a furious, fuming face, like clenched, like she fucking ate 9 lemons, just mad. And so I immediately started to fake snore in the car. She gets in the car, and she's like, did you know your brother was on fucking suspension today? And she goes, wake up! Did you know your brother was suspended? No, I didn't, Mom. Takes me to the doctor. We go home. My brother walks in the door. My mom's making me a steak because I'm sick. My mom's making me a steak, and my brother walks in the door, and he's on her right, and she's making the steak like this, and she goes, hey, and he goes, hey, and he goes, how was school today? He goes, fine, and my mom hits him in the face with a spatula. I was at that goddamn school today. You're suspended? When the fuck are you going to tell me you're suspended? You make me look like an asshole? Because I'll tell you that. My mom had one rule growing up, because she raised us by herself. My mom, my dad disappeared, and my mom raised 5 boys, and her only rule was don't make me look stupid. That was it. So she hit him in the face with the spatula, and he immediately goes, Mike knew! And my mom looks at me, and I'm Is that steak ready? I'm very woozy. My mom goes, I will never trust you again. Yeah, that was when I was in 8th grade. So I walk in the door, coming home from fake work, tired from a long day of fake workery. And I head upstairs, and my mom's on the couch, and she looks over and says, how was work today? She does not have a spatula in her hand, but I know. And I just turn around and I look at her, and I go, what? And I've only seen my mom to that point cry 3 times in my life. Once when my dad beat her up, once when Elvis died, and once when Elvis beat her up. Now. Oh. Sorry. That made me laugh. I'm sorry. All right. No, only 3 times. Once. The third time was when my father had died, and she came home and told us, and she looked up and she was crying, and Fran had called her that day to see how I was, and word had gotten all over the store that I was fired for stealing, and she wanted to know how my mom was dealing with it, and my mom didn't know, so she. So not only did I get fired, but worse was I made my mom look stupid. The only rule we had, and she was crying, and she looked at me, and you can deal more with rage than with sadness, and so if she was furious and wanted to fucking beat the shit out of me, and she could, I would have shelled up and let her beat the shit out of me for hours. I wouldn't have cared. I would have been fucking revelatory at that point. But she just looked at me and she said, why? And because I wanted a sandwich. Dumbest ever. Nothing to say. Frozen. Why? And I just went, I don't know. And she smoked her cigarette and didn't sob, just tears, on her face. And she said, you need to find a job or you need to leave. And I had never been more humiliated in my life at that point. Until I needed to get a job. And I didn't drive. So I had to walk up the highway to the main business district in Bolingbrook, which contained a Jewel Foods, 2 gas stations, and a Wendy's. And I walked into Wendy's, and believe me, I applied at the gas stations, I think, twice each. Like, I did not want to go into the Wendy's because I didn't want to work there in high school. I certainly didn't want to work there as a felon. I mean, what the fuck? And this is not good Wendy's like now, where it's all like, Hispanics and aprons. I mean, it's like, this is old Wendy's with like when they'd hire a full barbershop quartet with cravats to serve you hamburgers. Fucking puffy hats and ridiculous blue shirts and a cravat. Like, I don't need a scarf to give somebody tomatoes. Fuck you. It was the job, like you wanted it as a kid. Like if you wanted to work in fast food, that was the place to go because you could drink the shake, the frosty stuff, like unfrozen in the freezer. My friends did that, Ock and the guys. Never mind, who cares? But as a man, you don't want to work there. I don't want to even be in there for fuck's sake. But I applied, and I had to put Jewel. They're like, why'd you leave your last job? And I said, it's a long, I just left. And it's a block away. It's not even, it's across the street. They can ask them. Somehow I get hired at Wendy's. And I'll tell you this, as a high school kid, when you work at Wendy's, it's a drag because you go after school and you work like 4:30 to 9 and you got to do your homework late. But as a man at Wendy's, you don't get the plum 4:30 to 9 shift. They look at me and they go, so you don't have another gig? And I'm like, no. And they go, okay, well, you're going to work 6 a.m. to 2. You're going to be the burger boy. Literally, that's the title. I'm not making that up. He said, you're going to be burger boy. And in my head, I'm going to have to dress into an even weirder suit to get people into the fucking building. And he's like, no, Burger Boy, you because our patties are fresh made, you know, they're not frozen. So Burger Boy comes in the morning at 6, and he squeezes out all the patties for the day. So my first day as Burger Boy, I show up, and they give me my outfit. And by the way, I should say, I couldn't start on time. I had to wait 2 extra days because they had to find a fat uniform to fit me. I put it on, and it's this billowy, again, it's blue and white stripes, but like powder blue. And again, a puffy hat and a fucking scarf. And it's like I should have just flown in on a Waldo Pepper fucking plane and crop dusted the whole joint. And I just, I literally, like, there was a load of hooey in the pocket. I mean, it was fucking awful. So I look ridiculous. And then they go, all right, Burger Boy. And like the guy, this is not a joke. All right, I should tell you, his name was Ken. And he's the morning manager. I thought I was big. Ken looked like the wall of Wendy's. He's just a giant fat dude. And you know who he looked like? And I'm not even fucking joking. Do you know who King Kong Bundy is? King Kong Bundy is a pro wrestler who weighed like 450 pounds and was fucking dead bald. That's exactly what Ken looked like. In the face even, he looked like King Kong Bundy. And he kind of carried himself with that, like arms out like this. He couldn't have his hands at his sides, fucking awful. And he called me Burger Boy because he felt it was his job to haze the new guys at Wendy's. So he goes, all right, Burger Boy, come on in the back. And they have a machine, and it's got a giant cone on the top with a funnel. And you just have to keep putting 50-pound blocks of ground beef on it, and it shits out squares. It like peels the paper and shits out a square and stacks them 12 up. And then you, because you're very talented and smart and intelligent and have an IQ, you have to grab the stack of 12 and move it over here and wait for the next 12. For 4 hours. It was like an assembly line of dead flesh. That's exactly what it was. So, because you stack burgers for the entire day. So I'm stacking. The finally the 4 hours end, and I figure I get a break, and Ken comes over and he goes, all right, Burger Boy, clean the machine. So then you've got to take it apart, and you're fucking elbow deep in hot water with meat and blood. There's blood all over me because I had to wear an apron. I'm the only one who had to wear an apron at the time. And it was not now, like Hispanics and aprons, but then, certainly. So I'm elbow deep in fucking hot water and blood and meat. And I finish, and I look at him, and I figure it's time for a break, and Ken goes, all right, come with me. And Ken tells me that I have to clean the grease trap. I don't even know what the fuck that means. And he goes, no, you have to clean the grease trap. And then it dawns on me, I do know what it means, because at Jewel, in the chef's kitchen, they had like a piece of paper on the wall with a lottery system to see who would have to clean the grease trap. And he goes, get out. And he's like, all right, get under the sink. Get under there. I had to get on my knees. And it's where all the grease from the fries and the grills goes. And I had to get in with a pitcher and scoop it all out and dump it in mop buckets and then dump it outside in a dumpster. And it was 6 trips. My arm elbow deep in grease, scooping it out. And I'm not joking. I'm on my knees in that outfit scooping grease. And Ken is standing over me, laughing at me. All because I stole $10 for a fucking sandwich. So that was the most humiliating moment of my life. Until. I'm at Wendy's for a couple of weeks. I work my way out of Burger Boy status. I'm there on the weekend, actually working a breakfast shift. And there's a different manager there, and he's a nice guy. And we're about to start the lunch rush, and the food delivery has not shown up yet, and we're out of napkins. And we're out of tomatoes. And he's like, oh, my God, this is unbelievable. He goes, Mike, he goes, go to Jewel, grab some napkins, grab some tomatoes. And he throws me his car keys. No. Batman doesn't drive. I catch the car keys, and I'm still processing the Jewel part. And I go, what? And he goes, take my car. It's the Gallant outside. Take it across the street. Go to Jewel. Get us some napkins. Get us some tomatoes and come right back. I don't want to drive. I don't want to go to Jewel. I don't want to be alive. I want to die. I want to fucking die at that point. And I go, I don't think I'm your man for this gig. And he goes, come on, hurry up. It's fine. These guys are cleaning up. He goes, unless you want to clean up the breakfast thing, just go. And I'm like, all right. I go outside, and there's his car. And I've been in cars as a man over the years, but never from the left side. So oddly enough, the door works the same, so I go ahead and I grab it. I open it up, and I get in the seat, and I adjust it for me. And I take the keys and I put them in and I started, and I had started. I should tell you, I've parked my mom's car before. I had to pull my mom said, go pull my car into the garage once on the driveway. So I raised up the garage door and I pulled up, and I hit the gas, and I did not hit the brake ever, and I smashed into the wall of our house. I crushed. There was a like a garbage compactor. I smashed the shit out of it, and I broke like 5 8-packs of Pepsi bottles. It was awful. That's the extent of my driving experience. So sure enough, I go out to his car and I get in and I start it. And when I started, I put my foot all the way to the floor on the gas because I think you're supposed to do that. So it's like this crazy noise. I'm like, ah! I'm sitting there waiting, and it calms down. And so I put it in reverse. I look and I wait, and there's a reverse. I put it in reverse and I go to back up. And then I remember, turn your head. So I turn my head real fast, and I'm moving backwards. And there's nobody behind me, and I'm moving backwards. And then I go up on the curb. And I wait. And then I go, well, the curb's going to end at some point. And then I keep going, and I come off the curb. And then the next wheel goes over the curb, and I kind of back out. And so I'm white-knuckling the steering wheel, and I'm driving super slow. And I'm driving so slow. I pull up, and I get to the exit, and I'm looking. And I have to cross Route 53 in Boughton is where it's the main drag of Bolingbrook. Boughton Road, it's like a 45-mile-an-hour road. And I've got to go across it, all 4 lanes, to get into the Jewel parking lot. So I'm standing there, and nobody's coming, so I kind of hit the gas real fast to go, and then a guy goes to turn, and I panic, and I hit the brakes right in the middle of the fucking lanes, and I stop, and then I go and I back up. I back right up again. And people drive by, and I'm sitting there, I'm white-knuckling the fucking steering wheel, and then I put it in drive again, and I floor it again, and I pull out, and I get right into the center, and then people are coming, so I'm stopped in the center, and I move incrementally, I move forward, and then I stop because the guys are coming, and I move backwards, and it dawns on me, I'm Frogger. I'm Frogger at this point. So I try to Frogger my way across, and finally nobody's there, and I floor it, and I just bottom out, and I fucking bitch slap the curb, go-gunk, and I pull into Jewel, and I get in, and I don't know where to park. So, again, I'm very cool. I pull right into the fire lane, folks, as you recall. Valet parking for Robin. And I get out of the car, and I go into the store. And I don't want to be in there, man. I have no interest, but I got to do it. So I pulled down. That's the only good thing about the uniform. The Wendy's hat, you could actually hide in it. So I pull down, I unsnap this old-timey pin, and I drop it over my face. And I go shopping, and I grab some tomatoes, and I grab napkins, and I get into the 15 less checkout. And I go, and they're checking people out, and I know people are looking at me. But they can't see my face. I don't know why they're looking at me. And then I realize, I look down, I have blood on this shirt. I have blood in this blue and crazy costume with a fucking scarf and a hat pulled down over my face. I look like I'm there to rob the place again. I finally get to the front, and everybody's staring at me, and I'm standing there, and I got the fucking ridiculous costume. I got blood on me, crazy, and I got, like, white on my face because I'm freaked out at driving. And everyone's looking at me, and they're disgusted. Because it hurt me so bad, man. It was so humiliating that I had to even be in there because I was Batman. I was fucking Batman. Fuck Jeff. He's at college. I was Batman. I was Batman to those people, and standing there with a fucking cravat and a fucking garish costume and blood on the shirt and an ash white face, I was the Joker. I went from Batman to the Joker in fucking 3 weeks. Thank you so much.
You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. It seems weird to just jump in with this, right? There should be a crowd or something. But I'll do it anyway because I'm a slave to fashion and a slave to the grind. So apparently, and I'm a slave to the rhythm. So you know who I am? I'm Skid Row and I'm Grace Jones. You guys can get me at Mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You can be my friend at Facebook.com/The40-Year-Old Boy. You can find me at Twitter.com/The40-Year-Old Boy. Don't just find me there. Follow me there. Remember, our friend David Hernandez does the artwork for the show. You can go to artbydmh.com, ARTBYDMH.com, and get him to do all sorts of interesting and fun stuff for you. Please go to Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez, and you can go ahead and get him to be your friend there at Facebook. Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. You can find her at several different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. You can be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and ask her how she felt, ask her how she felt sitting stage left the entire show and pretending to enjoy it. Not this show, that show, the show you just heard, the Schmitty Comes Alive show. She was there sitting there. And I think she will also be at Podfest this year. I think. I don't know. Perhaps there are more children who need babysitting. But you can go ahead and get her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
At work or in their cars, the ones that really love you walk up and down outside your head. Some want to see your show go 2 hours, maybe 3. Students, mailmen, and artistes make their plea. And they find you under the bed. Wearing horns of red, they find it's not easy. Banging your heart against some podcaster's head.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas held every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. You can go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and become a member of that page for upcoming lineups, pictures of past lineups, hot girl photos, our friend Lily's autograph. I think that's on there. If it's not, you can ask her for it. I'm sure she'll send it to you. And you can also go to brownpapertickets.com for all of the lineups and all of the tickets available for all of the shows that are upcoming. I can plug this show right now. I will tell you that September 15th, which is upcoming, is it next week? No, it's 2 weeks. No, it is. It might be this coming week. Oh, my Lord. I better sit down. No, it's the 2 weeks. Today's the 2nd. That's right. It's Tuesday. The 15th, I will be hosting the show. It is a tribute to Lily. It is her 10th year producing the show. Producing burlesque shows in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if it's just the Monday Night Teas, but all shows all across Los Angeles. She's been in a Boiler Room. She's been up north in Fresno. She's been all over the place. But I will be hosting that show, and there will be all sorts of women doing Lily's acts that night and kind of paying tribute to her. And I'll be paying tribute verbally. They'll be paying tribute with dance. And then you'll be paying tribute with cash at the door and with applause in the audience. So come on out September 15th. Tickets are available now at brownpapertickets.com. I will be hosting, and then Lily will be there. It'll be fun for all involved. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. Well, there's all sorts of stuff at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. But if you go to the Joe Business page, we've got things that you can purchase if you'd like. TweakedAudio.com is a huge supporter of this show. I'm yawning. I'm trying not to, but it's late, folks. I've been up. I'm going to the gym. I'm working a lot. Have I told you that? But you can go to tweakedaudio.com and get Conquering Watches and autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. We have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and year 6 of the show available for individual download or as part of the Reservoir Schmidt Dog set. You can pick that up. We have the For the Life of Schmitty download. We have the Schmitty Comes Alive download. Are you interested in that? Did you like what you just heard? Would you like to own it forever? I guess you kind of do. Would you like to pay for it and own it forever and make sure I got $5? You can go ahead and do that. We have the Yurt Dirt Dirt shirt available. You can pick that up right now at the Joe Business page on MikeSchmidtComedy.com. And I will tell you right now that there is the artwork as well, signed by me and David and Lily and sent to you at your place of residence or business. And also we have the, I don't know how long this is supposed to be. I don't want Lily to yell at me. Oh, we have, there was one and the Amazon page. If you click through on the Amazon pennant on Joe Business, the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, you will get to the Amazon store and click through to the actual Amazon place, and then we will get credit for your purchases, and everyone will be happy. I think I said that earlier. Everyone's happy with a lot of this stuff. Remember that tiny.cc/40YOBPOD will get you tickets to the Los Angeles Podcast Festival, where I'm appearing live at the end of the month, September 27th at noon. Tickets are available now at tiny.cc/40YOBPOD. Get those tickets, get 3-day passes, get individual passes, whatever. I will be there on Friday meeting people. I'll be there on Saturday performing and saying hello before I hop on a plane, much like the plane I'm on right now. I am right now on a plane. You don't know that. As you listen, I am always on a plane. I wish I could record this show on a plane, although now with this new phone development, I guess I can. I couldn't upload it, but I can certainly record it. By the way, I'm recording this in my apartment. It is dark. Like I said, 3 light bulbs, only one of them on. And I have my shades open, like my blinds and my front door. So people are walking by. It's 11 o'clock at night, so there's young people and they're lurking. But they see me and I'm sure they hear me talking. All I'm doing, I'm just firing into the phone. Like, it sounds like I'm having the worst one-sided phone conversation in the history of Alexander Graham Bell's invention. I mean, I am vomiting words into this phone, and whoever's on the other end of it is sitting there enraptured or not happy, according to the people who live here. But I know you're enraptured, of course. Let's talk about the phone for just a second, folks. I'm going to tell you this. Because of this week's show, and I'm on a plane, and this is something I thought about a few weeks ago, and I'm going to do this because I'm dumb. Let me just tell you that. It's September. So we always say it's Stuptember for our friend Lily von Stupp, because it's Stuptember. She puts on shows or anniversary. It's all happening at the same time. Well, I'm gonna ride her coattails a little bit, folks. I'm gonna be a little hitchhiker. I'm gonna tag along on Stuptember. I'm gonna call this Schmittember. Just this Schmittember. Not all of them. It belongs to Lily von Stupp. It's Stuptember, but I'm gonna call this one, part of this one at least, Schmittember, because it is Tuesday, September 2nd. Right now as I record this. You'll hear this on Thursday, September 4th. And I'm going to throw this offer out to you folks. You want me to call you? I know that sounds stupid, right? But because I've put up the show here, which is Schmitty Comes Alive, and I'm proud of it, and I'm an excited guy. But at the same time, I'm very disappointed I didn't get to do a show this week. And I shouldn't say that because I'm supposed to not tell you that I'm disappointed, but I am. I wanted to do one, but unfortunately things conflicted and things smashed together. And I'm never supposed to show this part of it, but I am. I'm fucking mad right now that I didn't get to do a show, as you can tell as I blurt into a phone. So here's what I'm going to do, folks. It's Thursday, September 4th. And next week's show will go up on Thursday, September 11th. Never forget. And in honor of this country's greatest disaster, I'm going to make that the deadline, folks. If you want me to call you, I will call you. I'm just going to leave a voicemail. We're not going to have a long conversation. If you pick up, I'm going to have to talk to you, obviously. But I will call you, or I will call and talk to you, or I will call and leave a message. Whatever's going to happen, who knows? You don't know when I'm going to call. But sometime in the month of Stuptember, I'm going to get a hold of you, folks. If you want me to call you, and this, by the way, I'm only going to call people. This offer ends September 11th. On September 11th, terrorists fly 2 planes into this offer, and it crumbles to the ground before your very eyes. Send me your phone number to schmittycallme@gmail.com. That's SCHMITTYCALLME@gmail.com. schmittycallme@gmail.com. You've got from now, the moment you're hearing this, until the moment the show goes up next week. I'm going to say 2 o'clock West Coast time, 2 o'clock a.m. on the morning of Thursday, September 11th. So Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. We'll call it that. 2 a.m. on Thursday, September 11th. That's going to matter. If you send it at 2:05, of course I'm going to call you. But we'll give you a week. And look, none of you might want this. You may all be just going, no, this is the fucking dumbest idea of all time. And it could be. But I thought of it and it made me laugh. And I almost did it. I was going to put my cell phone number on the web a couple of weeks ago and go call me. I'll just do a show for you. When the time I got trapped on the plane, I was going to do that. But now I've set up a Gmail address. So go ahead and you write me at schmittycallme@gmail.com and send me your phone number. And I'll call you. And you know what? If you want a recipe, we'll talk about recipes. I can talk to you about fantasy football. I can just talk to you about life. Or I'll just get your voicemail, hopefully, by God, hopefully. Don't answer the phone. And I'll just leave a nice message for you. But that's right. We've got a week. You've got a week from September 4th to September 11th. Send a note to schmittycallme@gmail.com with your phone number, of course. I'm going to need that. No texting. None of that nonsense. It's going to be voice work because my thumbs don't have enough fucking juice in them to text 20,000 people. That seems high. There's no way at 20,000 people, if they do, my minutes are going to go away. Oh my God, this is going to cost me money. What a fucking dumb idea. I love this idea. It's awesome. All right. schmittycallme@gmail.com. Send me your phone numbers. And I will call you sometime in September. And it will definitely be by the end of September. And I will wake you up when September ends. Perhaps I'll do that. Perhaps, you know what? I'll have Green Day call you. Let me ask you this, folks. Do you want me to call you? Well, do you have the time to listen to me whine? Because I'm going to call you when I wake you up when September ends, because that's when I'm going to be dialing the phone, baby. I'm going to be dialing it the rest of the month. So you've got a week to contact me at schmittycallme@gmail.com with your phone number, and I will call, and we will talk, or I will talk in your voicemail. Please don't answer the phone. Oh, my God, please don't answer the phone, because I don't want you to answer the phone.
Literally, this show starts as a tiny snowball, and at the end, the hundreds are dead at the bottom of a ravine. I mean, I get that. Believe me, if there's any show in the history of the world that does not need to be transcribed for posterity, it's this one. I like when nobody can see the seams. I like when I'm able to kind of just, fly with the bees wherever. When I have to actually stop the bees and ask for directions, that's not fun. I just like unleashing the bees, but when the bees have to stop in mid-flight and we all have to kind of look at each other and bust out a fucking map, that's not fun at all. I want to saddle up these bees and ride, goddammit! I'm done.